Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
It's the Talking Real Money podcast, videocast. We're not sure what this will be yet. You see, here's what we do. Tom and I get together once a week, twice a week. We record some podcasts and videocasts, and then we pick one of them to represent us in living color on YouTube. Tom hates that. He hates that. You don't like the YouTube channel at all, do you?
It's not a matter of don't like. It's a matter of don't use. I mean, no offense to the few of you that do tune into the YouTube channel, but it's the few of you. So God bless you.
You have to remember that back in 2014, when the Talking Real Money podcast began, that we only had a few hundred people listening.
Touché.
You have to be there to get the eyeballs or the earballs. Wait,
Consistency. Got it.
Frequency, Mr. Advertising guy.
Frequency.
Back on with the wisdom glasses, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, family pets, wild animals, aliens listening to this out in space somewhere. Tom's in the hangar. I'm in the Florida studio, still under construction.
Don't say the hangar, because one person thought I actually lived in a hangar. I had to tell them, no, I don't actually live in a hangar. I live in an office.
I'd rather them think that. Live from the Air and Space Museum.
That's not a bad place to live. How long could I get away with hiding there until they?
Probably, given all the planes with all their little nooks and crannies and cockpits, probably a while.
That's a great idea.
What was the movie
that was
with
Tom Hanks?
Tom Hanks stuck in the airport. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Stuck in the air and space. I got to write a screenplay for that.
I think we're on to something. Maybe that's my retirement job. Switching from the B-17 to the
This could be
B-24.
like a cross between that and Night in the Museum. It'd be stuck in the museum.
As long as I can play Teddy Roosevelt, I'm okay. So,
Teddy stuck in a museum.
Yeah.
Wait.
Bully.
No. When did Teddy die? Yeah, I guess they did have planes. Okay.
About 1920.
Yeah, they did have planes. Not many. Sure. I got like one. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Talking Real Money. I'm Don in the Florida studio, still under construction, perpetually under construction. Because, the supply chain in America,
really
it's
slow.
A mess. I've got stuff that's been on order for the studio for 8, 9, 10 weeks.
Oh, by the way, speaking of that, if I could quick aside here about the supply chain, because we're having trouble finding CPAs to help our clients and prospects. So someone said, I think it's a supply chain issue. And I said, so do you think they're in one of those cargo storage containers like off the coast of Long Beach waiting to be shipped in? I don't know. So if you're a CPA,
a container full of accountants.
Exactly. They're all floating around out there in the Pacific Ocean.
Why do we need a CPA? You mean just to recommend to clients?
Yes, exactly. We're short on CPA, so call us.
Oh, well, there opportunity for you CPAs out there for referrals. Everybody needs referrals, right? Ron?
And by the way, if you're stuck in one of those storage containers, we'll throw you a cheese sandwich or something off the coast too. So you got that to look forward to.
But now with SpaceX, you can actually get internet service in your container.
Oh, they're
anywhere.
It's comforting while you're sloshing.
I started to say who we were, and then we just keep going off.
Yeah.
We just keep going off in another direction.
Let's get to the meat of the matter.
Okay. Are you done?
I'm holding my breath now.
I'm Don McDonald. That's Tom Cock. Can't make him stop talking because his family's in Mexico and he's so lonely. He won't shut up. It is true. All right.
That is true.
Hi, welcome to the program. We want to talk to you about money. And we hope you'll call us with your questions at 855-935-TALK, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can also send them in at talkingrealmoney.com. Today we want to talk about stupid human investing tricks. This is one of my favorite topics, is the dumb things that people do with their money. And this one kind of takes the cake because I can't really figure out why the heck you'd want to do it anyway. It was in the news last week. I think it was in the Wall Street Journal. I got it right here. A couple, the McNulty family, for some strange reason, felt they needed to have an IRA invested in gold, which in and of itself is bad enough, Tom. I mean,
and you can own gold in your IRA just by owning GLD. I mean, there's funds and there's
apparently,
ETFs, but
these people are so paranoid that they don't even trust a gold ETF with their precious money. No, they wanted to have their IRA in the basement, just right there in the house. So they got a vault and they set up a self-directed IRA and they put the money, the gold and silver, in the basement. Well, actually, I think it was just gold. And
just gold.
There's a rule against that. You can't. That would be like putting your money in your own business in your IRA. You can't do that. You can't keep it in the basement because think about it. If you had your gold in the basement, you could buy and sell it without anyone knowing at the IRS, so that you could trade it and not pay taxes or have the penalties that are associated with having your IRA with a custodian. This is why IRA assets are supposed to be custodied with someone. Now, there's a loophole that allows you to have a self-directed IRA so that you can do things with it, but the custodian is not supposed to allow you to keep the stuff in the basement. So the IRS said, you are bad people. You can't do that. And they hit them with a $300,000 plus penalty for doing that. And, basically the article is saying, hey, folks, before you do something, go consult with one of those accountants in a shipping container off the coast of Los Angeles or Seattle, if you can find one.
Okay, before you even do that, let's just consider the method in which they did this. You mentioned it briefly. Self-directed individual retirement account. Right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Self-directed IRA.
Right.
And just for the record,
it's a variation on the old self-directed theme. When I was a stockbroker, we did provide self-directed IRAs, and you could buy mutual funds, individual stocks. You could buy pretty much whatever you wanted as long as the brokerage firm kept custody of those things.
And by the way, self-directed IRAs, are they available at Schwab? No. Are they available at Fidelity? Nope. Are they available at Vanguard? Nope. Are they available at major brokerages? Why? Well, because they know they are bad news. And why do you want a self-directed IRA? Well, you want it so you could own, as this family did, precious metals, commodities, private placements. You can put limited partnerships in a self-directed IRA. You can put tax lien certificates. You could put, here's the big one, real estate, because people want to put real estate in these things. You can run around. You can find it all on the internet. By the way, if you type in self-directed IRA, you come up with, in a search engine, I won't give them the name this time, you come up with like 124 million results because everybody wants to sell you one of these things because they're special. They're not just index funds. They're not just stocks and bonds. But they're not a good idea. The fees are outrageous. I took a look, Don, to set one up, fee, annual amount, fee. Renewal fee, way cut into any earnings you may have. These are superfluous. But
I really want to make this. I want to make a distinction clear, though. There are two kinds of self-directed IRAs. I just checked, and just like we offered at Dean Witter, Merrill Lynch offers a self-directed IRA. It's called Merrill Edge Self-Directed Investing, and it doesn't cost a lot. But it is not what we're talking about, where you are able to put these oddball assets that don't trade publicly into an account. These are a different kind of self-directed IRA. They should actually have a different name.
They should have a different name, because this is the reason people want to invest in these are because they're alternative investments. They're not garden variety, if you will, right? They're not the stuff that we talk about on this program that really any rational investor should be in. These are alternatives. And the reason people put money in alternatives because I can't make any money in stocks and bonds. Wrong. You've made a lot of money in stocks and bonds for the long haul. You don't need them. You don't need alternative investments. If you want to invest in real estate, if you want to be a real estate investor, there's 1,000 other ways to invest in real estate, whether you're doing it on your own, working with a partnership, all of those kind of things. So this is just one. And I know we do spend, and you're very good about this, Don, telling people things to eliminate, to just not consider. This is one of those. You do not need it.
It really is. I'm looking at an article from Investopedia on these self-directed accounts, and they looked up and researched some of the better companies that offer these. But as Tom said, you want to know what the actual numbers are? Here's one from a company called Equity Trust. They charge up to $2,150 a year in custodial fees for their account. Here's another one that charges you $1,000 to open the account and $300 a year. So you're going to be spending a lot of money for these accounts. You are going to be in potentially shaky territory. You would need these guys to protect you from audits and problems. And then you're committing the cardinal sin of real investing, and that is focusing your assets, not diversifying your assets. So higher fees, lack of diversification, higher risks. Why would you want to do this stuff?
And
there's
liquidity.
More.
Liquidity.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I mean, you can't call them tomorrow and say, put that money in my bank, which you can with any other individual retirement account should you need it. You can't go get it. So, no, again, these are one of those things that you put in the Don McDonald dustbin of history and say goodbye.
Oh, I keep the dustbin of history. I'm in charge of that.
You're remodeling your office there. You got plenty of room.
I need a good dustbin.
Burn barrel of history. Wouldn't that be better?
Let's see. What are we? You know what we need? We need you to call us with questions at 855-935-TALK. You can call us with those anytime. 855-935-8255. You can also, though, send them in at talkingrealmoney.com, and we have a ton of those. We really rarely lack for typed in questions. For some reason, you like typing.
People like to do that.
It's kind of like my daughter. It's like, don't call me, text me. My generation
that's not
does
the
not
only
talk
daughter
on the phone.
or son that does that. That don't feel alone there.
No, I don't. It's just
it is
strange. It's like,
are you going to now offer one of those questions, or are we just going to sit here and look at each other?
I'm going to hit you. I'm going to give you a break. I'm going to give you a really short one.
Wouldn't that be
nice? A really, really easy one.
Okay.
This is such a, you can just, all right, you ready?
Yes, sir.
It affects the subject as short one.
Yeah.
Hello, Tom and Don. Where does a REIT index fund like VNQ fall in the equity versus fixed side of my asset allocation? Where do you put it?
That's
Tommy
pretty
boy?
easy, because a REIT, real estate investment trust, is a holding of many companies that hold commercial real estate of a variety of, they could be landlords for apartment buildings. They could own malls. They could own buildings in downtowns or whatever place. So they hold commercial real estate. So this is an asset class, should not be categorized as a bond. There is no guarantee to a REIT the way a bond is. Remember, a bond is truly an IOU issued by a corporation, a government, etc., that says, we'll give you your money back with the promised interest. Now, do they always do that? No, but there's a promise there. None of that exists with a real estate investment trust. You're simply giving them the money. They're investing it in these properties. Hopefully they're collecting rents. They're also enjoying, hopefully, a rising real estate market, which we've had lately. Not true all the time, by the way. So these are definitely equity-like. They are not bond-like in any sense of the word. So when you're looking at your portfolio, this should be on the equity side, not the fixed income side.
All right, there you have it. Tom says, put them on the equity side. Thank you for that. Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Tom. Thank you for the answer. Thank
My
you all
pleasure.
for being a part of what we do. Remember, we have a new retire meet coming up in 2022. Last year, because of COVID, we did retire meet totally online, and it was very successful. It actually worked. So this year, our hope is to do both, an in-person retire meet in Bellevue, Washington, and an online one. The good news about the in-person one, you got to pay. You get food. You get food. You get free food. You pay.
Nice
but
food.
You get food.
Good sandwich.
Good food. Yeah. The online one, since you don't get food, you have to provide your own. BYOF. Bring your own food. You get for free. But you need to sign up for it because we only have a limited number of digital seats. We actually have digital seats. So go to retiremeet.com, retiremeet.com, and sign up. Do you have anything else you'd like to say about that, Thomas? What?
February 26th,
February.
2022.
It's sometime in February.
I'll be there. Don will be there. Paul Merriman will be there. All kinds of, Paul Lopescu will be there. Herb Weisbaum will be at all. Everything, honestly, you need to know about retirement in, I think it's like 6 short hours or something. So it's a heck of a program. This was your idea, and we're just carrying it out.
We actually cover everything from getting ready to retire to actually retiring, and we are not going to depress you with the post-retirement phase. The thing that comes after retirement.
That's
we don't
comforting.
have that. Yeah. Next,
the next
that'll
class.
be it'll be funeral meat.
That is really
cremation
depressing.
versus burial. We'll have a
please.
panel discussion. All right. Thank you all for being there, here, wherever you are.
I smell something burning. Okay, we're okay.
Tom and I wish you all the best this holiday season, unless you listen to the podcast when it's not a holiday season. So we're just going to do what we do, which is to hang out here in our little rooms, Tom's with the airplanes, mine with the panels, and talk about real money.
Talking real money. We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for informational, educational, and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. Providing personalized financial planning or investing advice takes time, so please consult with a really good fee-only fiduciary investment, tax, or legal advisor. We know a good one. Investing must always involve risk. In other words, you can and probably will lose money at times. Also, as much as you want it, no one can accurately and consistently predict the future. So past performance doesn't tell you a darn thing about what the future will bring. Unlike many other programs that say something similar, Talking Real Money is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Appella Capital, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and disclosures. Are we done now?